Hi guys, and thank you for purchasing your A5 sprayer. Let's talk about some of the benefits and how to set it up and what you get with your unit. You get a digital display. This reads in MPa, but you can also add an analog pressure gauge, which is an option as well, which I prefer, but you do always have your digital there that reads in MPa. Nice big dial here for your pressure. It's really easy to use, really smooth. Nice big on-off switch on the back. Nice heavy duty switch between prime and spray, so prime and spray, really heavy duty, really handy. Also, you get a really nice big suction pipe and a metal return pipe. Makes it easy to stay in the bucket. Some units have the plastic pipe sort of flops in and out of the bucket, but this is nice and sturdy, keeps it into your pot there. And that will come with a 60 mesh filter. Okay, so what you get with your A5 sprayer is your A360 spray gun, a set of 17 and 19 spanners, your piston lube, a 15 meter spray hose, but obviously you can buy a 7.5 as well, and also you could buy a whip section for the end of this. Extended packages for these, you can buy hoppers, extension bars, different tips, and so on, pressure gauges. So how do we set up our airless sprayer? The first thing we want to do is make sure everything's tightened down. So what I actually do is take an adjustable spanner and just make sure everything is tight and there's nothing loose, and just check everything. You know, even some of the returns going into the sprayer at the back of there, so on. Just check everything is tightened down before you run anything through it. You don't want any leaks before you start, basically. So what I'm actually going to do now is connect the spray hose to the machine. So what I'll do is I'll move these back out of the way here, put them on the back. As you'll see here, we actually have a nice little bucket, suction pipe and the return to go back into. So when you finish it the day, you can actually put it back into there and it won't stop any water going all over the floor in the back of your van. First thing I want to do is take this red cap off, and this is where your hose is going to be attached. Obviously, if you're using the pressure gauge, I'll actually connect the pressure gauge first and then connect the hose to the pressure gauge. But if you buy this unit as standard, like it is, you would connect the hose straight to here. So I just take my hose, take your cap off the end there, and actually screw it onto the end of my machine. 19 spanner, do that up. So it does go absolutely mad, but you want to get a good bit of friction on it, so you'll get it nice and tight there. The next thing I want to do is actually connect my gun at the other end of that hose. What you're going to do is take your gun out of your pack, and what I'll do is I'll take the spray guard off here to start with, because you don't need that at the moment, so I'll put your tips in there. I'll put that to one side, then just be left with the gun. And the A360 spray gun, you can see it's a nice 2-finger trigger, really smooth. So what I'll do is I'll take the other end of the hose, and there'll be a cap on each end there, so I'll take that off. You take the end of the gun and I'll just thread that onto the end. This is when you're going to need 2 spanners now, guys. So what you're going to do is you'll take your spanners and you actually put them together like so, and this is going to be, I think, the 19, yes, so 19 on both sides. So we get it nice and tight like so. Okay, so as you remember saying earlier, you get a bottle of piston lube with your machine. Now this is to keep the piston lubricated as it's moving up and down inside the packing set in the front of this pump. And what it's actually going to do is help with the lubrication of the pump moving up and down, but it's also going to stop the paint sticking to the piston. So what I'll do is I'll just test that I've got it all coming out the end there. Yep. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 little squirts over the top of the piston and push it in so it's on the rubber seal. 1, 2, 3. And that is enough. And I'll do that about once a day, just when I'm using it. Don't have to do it every day. So when you look inside the sprayer, you'll see that rubber seal inside that hole, and they're just going to sit on top of that seal there. As long as it's sort of just going down inside the piston there, as that piston is driving come down, it's going to keep it nice and lubricated. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is actually clean the sprayer out with a hot bucket of soapy water. So what you need is 1 clean bucket of hot soapy water, and you need an empty bucket, which is what I call a dump. So as you're circulating it, you're going to be cleaning all your oil out of your machine. So it's very important before you start this machine that you clean all the oil out before you put any paint in or anything like that, because obviously the paint can congeal with the oil and the grease, and it can get into a bit of a mess to start with. So what I suggest is 1 full bucket of hot soapy water and then 1 empty bucket. We're going to transfer that one into the other. As that goes through that machine, it'll be dumping it out into this bucket. So 2 buckets, 1 clean, 1 dirty. First thing I'm going to do is take my suction pipe out of my machine here and put it in to my buckets of hot soapy water. The next thing I'm going to do now is take my recirculation pipe. I'm going to put that into my dump bucket. It's in the down position. Now into prime. Turn the machine on the back, on the on position. You'll see the green light here. You turn the machine up now and transfer between that bucket to that bucket, cleaning through the machine. Now, you won't see anything go up on this gauge as you're doing this, because the machine itself, because there's no pressure in it, it's just going to be emptying. So this gauge won't do much at all. It'll just be on 0. So what I'll do now is I'll turn the machine up. I'll check this to make sure it's all coming out. What you actually see now is that water coming out that wet end there. And that means that we're just transferring between the two and we're cleaning the sprayer out. So what I'll do is I'll leave that to run and clean it all the way through the sprayer. I'll do one full bucket until it's clean. Now that sprayer's got a whole bucket of clean soapy water for it, what I'll do is I'll leave a little bit at the bottom there and I'll just test the pressure and basically see that everything is tightened down properly. So what I'll do is I'll just put the safety on the gum. So that is just turning over your switch like so. And I'll just actually turn the machine up, check my pressure gauge, in spray. And I can see now that it's actually building pressure. What I'll do is I'll have a good look around, make sure everything is tightened down. And then once I know that it's fine, turn the switch down, shut the lid, and I'll actually just slowly release this down. Just very slowly. And then release the pressure. Now it comes to your gun now, there'll be no pressure left in the machine, and that's safe to do so. And that's it. So now you're ready to add your paint.